Hi Aquarius, thank you so much for tuning in. This is a mid-monthly love reading for April 2017. The deck I'm using is the Angel Tarot by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine. So what we have for Aquarius this month, mid-month. This put it over here. Okay, Aquarius, let's see what we have for the middle of the month. So your center card is the Ten of Swords, or the Ten of Air in this deck. There will be the end of a situation, the end of a perspective, the end of an attitude, the end of a phase or cycle. And with this ending, there will be a change. And to either side of this Ten of Swords, I have the Three of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles. Now, the Three of Swords, which is the Three of Air in this deck, move this a little higher so you can see. Okay. This change, the end of this cycle phase will not come without sadness. Okay. Three of Air here. So prior to this change happening, there will be a little bit of sadness, whether because, your love situation is changing. Maybe you've realized something about your partner. You've realized that things may not work. Or if you're single, you're realizing certain things about yourself or your situation, your circumstance. Even, your past experiences. You may be learning something about a past experience that will not be... it's not that it's bad news. I'm not getting that it's terrible news, but what I'm getting is that it's something that you don't want to necessarily hear. Or it may be a realization that something may not work, or I have to sacrifice something about myself, about my situation, about my life in order to get to where I want to go. I was really hoping I don't have to sacrifice this. I was really hoping I wouldn't have to change my perspective, my attitude. You know what I mean? But bear in mind that it always gets worse before it gets better. Think of your best moments in your life when you were in alignment, when you felt great, when things were finally going your way. It's very likely that prior to that there was disappointment or sadness or something. It took a lot of effort to get to that point. So I'm getting that this is going to be one of those things. It's not going to be very dramatic or big, but there will be a little bit of sadness, or not so much. I'm not getting sadness like heartbreak or loss or grief. Sadness like closer to disappointment, or to, you wish things were different. Okay. Because the first card that popped out is the Five of Wands, which is representative of competing goals, clashing ideas or opinions, potential conflict with others. So this conflict may lead to that new information, you know what I mean? Or to whatever it is you're going to learn that will help you finish this cycle, this phase, and move on to the next point. And the reason I'm saying this is because right next to the Five of Wands is the World, major arcana, right? Oh, there we go. And that signifies completion, the end of something. So this potential disagreement or not necessarily conflict, but you may learn that someone is of a particular opinion or has a particular perspective. And as you realize this difference or this discrepancy in your worldviews, this could be with a potential partner. This could be in your dating experience. This learning about this difference in worldview will lead to not a conclusion, but kind of like, okay. I don't see any denial here. I don't see any hesitance to accept this truth. I don't see any arguments or big conflict. I see it more as a revelation to you, a realization that, okay, we're different, or our opinions are different, or there is a mismatch in our plans, in our worldview. And if you're single, this may be a mismatch, to, let's say you took a particular attitude the entire time towards dating. This learning this different worldview or this perspective, or how someone else, some information that someone may reveal or some information you may learn about yourself or someone else, a dating potential, a friend, a family member, this will kind of put things into perspective. And from this reading, what I'm getting is that will be the end of basically from that point forward, you will be taking an approach to love a little bit differently. Okay, and this will help because this realization, it's always good, right? As soon as we learn something that we weren't able to see before, it's always wonderful. And I have the Three of Wands here, right? So that's good. You're going to be relieved, at the very least, not disappointed or not regretful that you've learned this information, because now you have a broader picture, a bigger picture, and it's going to help you take the right steps and take the more appropriate approach to your love situation circumstance, but not without sadness. And that's because, let me see if I can think of an example. It's like you have a pet and you really love this animal, but you realize that, they have to be put down. For example, it's a very sad, dark example, but just to kind of get my point across, because that's the only example coming to mind at the moment. Excuse me. It's disappointing because you realize that you love this animal, right? But they're ill. And you're relieved you found out about this disease, about this illness, because now you can take the right approach. You can put them down. They will not suffer. They will not be in pain, right? And you're happy you found this out, because if you didn't, things would have gone on further and your pet may have been continuing to suffer in the way they did. And putting that animal down will be the end of that phase, but not without sadness. You know the right thing to do. You see it now and you see your options in front of you. You just don't like them. Or it's unfortunate that this is the way it has to be. And that's what I'm getting here. Nothing related to death, God forbid. But there will be a realization or a truth or some information that you will be happy to know. And it will make sense and it will bring together a bigger picture, but not without a sadness or a disappointment that this is how it is. Right? And I don't see any denial or any hesitance here. I see here that you're going to take this information because there is no denying it, this truth. It is the way it is. Whatever you discover, whatever you learn, it just is the way it is. And you know this. Okay, so that's going to, from this reading, what I'm getting is that's going to lead to the end of a particular situation. Okay, the end of a phase. However, there is good news. Right after that, I have the Nine of Pentacles. So this card encourages you to spend time alone. It encourages self-employment if you have some ideas or some projects in mind. It encourages you to focus on that, and then to enjoy life's little luxuries, right? So the end of this phase within your love life, I mean, it may not necessarily be related to romance. Again, this is a general reading, so I can't get too specific. But what I'm feeling is that this could be related to love of a job, you know, or love of a project, love of a partner, a child perhaps in your life. You know, maybe you're realizing that, you know, they're not going to take this particular instrument lesson. They don't like it. And oh, well, that sucks. It's family tradition. But, you know, now you've discovered that they have a new hobby like football or, um, you know, swimming or sports or something of that sort, right? So it's an opportunity to kind of adjust your current circumstance situation in light of this new info. And the last three cards, I'm very excited. I know you can't see it on camera, so I'm going to hold them up in order. Two major arcanas. Okay, I'm going to do it one by one. So the first one is Unity. Okay, and this card, okay, it's, as I see it in the context of this reading, Unity, it brings the whole picture together. You know, things make more sense, and you may be pulled out of this situation, circumstance, and you're going to get a broader view of everything altogether, because as I'm sure you're well aware, the moment you learn something, even a small detail about your life that was perhaps not fully discovered or you were not fully aware of it before, it will change your perspective on everything. That inner shift that happens, it affects your entire life. You know, there's an inner shift about work, or you discover something about yourself, your past, your family, a relationship, your dating situation, and all of a sudden you kind of look at everything just a little bit differently. So this new information, the end of that will lead to the end of this cycle, this realization, this truth. It will kind of bring things together, and you will have a bigger picture that will perhaps make more sense. Okay, and it will lead to good times, because the star, you're on the right path, right? It will lead to better changes. It will lead to good things. And it will lead to spiritual growth, because right after that we have the Ace of Wands, which is the Ace of Fire in this deck. And like the ace of any suit, it's new beginnings. It's a new spiritual development. It's an opportunity to move forward, a new flow, a new abundance, and a new opportunity. And again, it's right. I'm feeling a little bit of sadness. It may not be how you wanted it to turn out. It may not be. It may be a little disappointing. It may kind of hit your heart a little bit, and there may be sadness. But trust that this is leading to better things. Because as the saying goes, as soon as one door closes, another opens, right? And you may not want to close this door, and it's possible that you don't care if another door opens. You like this one. But you will not be able to deny or reject this realization, discovery, information, truth that will come to light, that may come to light. Okay, mid-month. Let me draw a few more cards and see if there's any guidance, any advice, any words of encouragement or for Aquarius, please. Aquarius. Whoops! Oh, I have two cards that slipped out, so I'm going to stick with that. Stretch your wings and fly. Oh, there was three actually. Balance. Complex. Okay. So those slipped out as I was shuffling, which happens quite often. Let me just take a look. So the first one, Queen of Wands. Okay. Don't underestimate yourself. Assert your independence, your creativity, right? And it literally says on the card here, stretch your wings and fly. So have faith. Have faith. Okay. And Major Arcana popped out as well. The second one, balance. So this will help bring you into alignment with your higher truth. Okay. This change, the end of this cycle, is going to lead to better things. And I cannot emphasize, it can be painful, and it can really kind of that, it sits in your chest and in the pit of your stomach, that kind of heaviness, that darkness, right? But it's, again, it always gets worse before it gets better. And I wish that wasn't the case, but it is. And I'm sure we all know this. But it will bring you more into alignment to your higher truth. Okay, is what I'm getting from these cards. So that's a word of encouragement. It is bringing you into alignment, and assert yourself and where you will be in the situation. Because 7 of Cups, which is 7 of water, possibilities. Okay, and I believe that actually came up in the weekly reading, if I'm not mistaken. This change leads to possibilities. Okay, new possibilities, new perspectives, new attitudes, changes. Okay. So whatever is ending the middle of this month, and again, it's not necessarily a relationship, or it's not necessarily that you'll lose a job. I mean, it could be, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that severe. It's just the severity that I'm feeling is more like disappointment, sadness within yourself. Maybe some tears will be shed. I really wish it was different. Or I wish that it happened a different way, perhaps. But again, you will not be able to deny this information, this truth that'll come forward. But it is leading to better change. And at the end of the day, I'm getting that you will be happy to know this information anyway. It will be worth that sadness, that disappointment to know this, because it will take you to a better place. Okay, it's just, you just have to sit with it, and you just have to have this experience of sadness or of disappointment. It's just a matter of riding it through, really. But again, the guidance, the 3 cards that fell out of my hands, you guys, okay? I do not believe in accidents. I don't know about you. Even if it was my butterfingers, it's undeniable. I mean, don't underestimate yourself. First card, because it is leading to alignment and balance. Second card, which will lead to better possibilities, more possibilities. You will see the bigger picture. Okay? And again, major arcana is the world. There will be a completion, an end. Balance. It will help you balance. You know what I mean? It may feel that it is disturbing the waters to begin with, but it will help you balance. Then unity, bringing everything together, a bigger picture, right? A bigger viewpoint. And then the star. That you're on the right path, and this is a positive thing that's happening. And I love that this is the last one, Ace of Wands. Fire in this deck. Beautiful. Okay, so that's what I have for mid-April, Aquarius. I hope you enjoyed the reading, and have a lovely mid-month, and I will see you next week.